Hey guys, I wanted to come on here briefly and talk about a couple of ways in which coronavirus is intersecting with my developing this marriage platform because of my own brokenness in my marriage and my life. I've decided to try to help people find what my wife and I found in our marriage. So all of that's kind of intersecting in this coronavirus endemic and panic and crisis and national emergency that we're seeing. So I wanted to kind of come at this from a different perspective. I've shared some other stuff about the importance of social distancing, and I think that there's other stuff out there about that I've put out and other people putting out good quality stuff. But I wanted to do a couple things. First of all, down below, I'm going to put a link to a marriage self-assessment that we did that you can have for free. And as we're all spending more time together and more time with our spouse, maybe we can utilize this opportunity to get together and talk about things that are important. Maybe we can use the time that we're not going out and doing our normal stuff so that we can figure out how to enrich our relationships. So that would be a great use of this quarantine or the social distancing, I guess I should say. So below, I'll have a link to that. You can go and um, get your free copy. Your spouse fill this out separately, and you can enjoy learning about each other, learning about your marriage. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about though was how does coronavirus affect our marriages and our relationships at home? So a couple of thoughts about that. There are some things that can help or that can hinder a normal, healthy marriage, things that can come up. And one of those things is unexpected occurrences, unexpected situations. So, a tornado takes our house down, our house burns down to fire, or the death of a child. All of these things are external to how my wife and I are interacting, but they're real things that happen in life. And those are things that cause couples to split up and to split up. And so the coronavirus epidemic, as I'm looking at that, that has the potential due to financial implications in the marketplace. It has the potential due to all of us having to spend more time inside. It has the potential due to us losing our normal routines to cause increased stress in our relationships. And I think that we have to identify that on the front end and realize that this is a very real possibility. So we need to prepare for that. And I think that if we look at other things that can actually impact our relationships, even when they're already in a good place, we can see that something unexpected like the coronavirus outbreak can bring those other things to the surface as well. So one of those things is going to be unmet expectations. If you've ever heard me talk, I always say that uncommunicated expectations are unmet expectations. So I have to not assume that my wife knows what I need during this time. I have to be willing to tell her that this is what's going on. I need some space. I need some time to just sit and think. I need to put my head in a book and just kind of be present with myself and with God for a period of time. Another part of expectations that happens is unreasonable expectations. So thinking that life's going to go on about as normal is an unreasonable expectation right now for the next couple of weeks at least. And so if we reset those expectations, it tends to decrease its negative impact on our relationships. Another thing that we see that happens is when people have not examined themselves. So I don't know about my blind spots. I don't know about things that I'm doing that are not working well for my spouse. So I have to be open to hearing what my spouse has to say. I have to let my wife speak to me about these blind spots in my character that I'm not aware of, so that I can work on them. And so I think as spouses, we need to gently do that with one another. Another thing that happens that actually negative impacts relationships is lack of skills in certain areas. So, for example, if finances are difficult for us, then we need to develop the skill set that allows us to better budget and better plan and be on the same page. So the way that this relates to coronavirus is when something big and monumental is happening, something outside of our control, it's gonna bring these other things to the surface and make them a bigger deal. So just knowing about that, being aware, okay, there's extra stressors coming into my life. Let me take the time to focus on my relationship with my wife, to focus on my relationship with my kids, and let me understand that it's going to cause other things to surface. Things that maybe on any given day are fairly okay, right? The fact that maybe we're not the best financial planners is not necessarily such a huge idea until we're out of work for a month. So these things are going to come to the surface, and we just need to be prepared to talk about them and develop a plan. For so much of my life, when there was something going on that I didn't want to deal with, I was an ostrich. Like I stuck my head in the sand and ignored it. And I've had times in my life when I wasn't managing my finances well, and I had a whole room where like bills were just sitting and I wouldn't even open them. Right? That's just delaying that avalanche of all that stuff coming down. So I have to, yeah, Jerry, I had to shave my beard so I can wear the N95 mask so that I can more easily take care of people in the emergency department. I don't like it. This is not the look that I'm going for. I feel like that I shaved off the moneymaker. But anyway, so my point is, we're all going to be under more stress. We're all going to be in closer proximity to the people that we love and care about. So let's show up well for them. There was one more area that I wanted to talk about that causes a negative impact on even good relationships, and that's making unhealthy choices. So, you know, I've dealt with hydrocodone addiction in the past, and I have a whole clinic that's helping people with addiction. But if in this time of stress, we go back to those things and we are making unhealthy choices, they're going to have a compound effect on our relationships and our work and our life. So we have to look at what we're doing, not react out of fear, not react out of feelings that are just getting the best of us. We have to actually take a breath and pause and think about the choices that we're making, because therein lies the blessing in all of this. Therein lies a better future. It's quite possible for all of us to get through this corona epidemic and come out on the other side better and healthier. But it's going to take intention. It's not going to happen by accident. So fill your mind with good things. Go listen to a good pastor's podcast. I like Emmanuel Church. I like Elevation Church. I like Hope City Church. Listen to these guys. Get your brains filled with good things and start learning what it means to have wisdom and discernment in life, how you can make good decisions in the moment, not make unhealthy choices, how you can open yourself up and be vulnerable to your spouse so that he or she can speak to you in loving ways that help you grow. See, as we're all going into this thing and there's so much uncertainty, and people like me, like I've tended to be more in the past, they need control. Like I need control. I need to know what's going to happen. With the relationship that I've developed with God, with Jesus, I'm at peace with this because I don't need to know how this turns out. I can trust. I can trust that whatever happens, it's going to be okay because I've read the last chapter. I know how the story ultimately ends. And so I just hope that you guys use this time to get with your spouse and your families and grow your relationship, ignite your marriage. Let's stop being mediocre, because I tell you, there's nothing like a crisis that demonstrates the mediocrity in our life. I mean, that's going to bring all of these other things to the surface. So be prepared for that. Like mentally just prepare yourself. Okay, we're going into some times. I'm going to be intentional with how I relate to my kids and my wife and my employer. We're going to get through this, guys. I don't have any doubt about that. And things are going to be okay. So give me a couple minutes. I will put a link below for this marriage self-assessment. Since we're all inside anyway, it's like 18 pages long. You can print it out. You do half, your spouse does half, and then you come together and talk about it. And I designed it in such a way so as to not promote disagreements. Because when you fill out information about communication and finances, You talk about you and what you can do differently. It is not an opportunity for you to throw stones at your spouse. And that's the brilliance of this kind of approach, I think, is we're not promoting disagreements. We're not trying to get people, knocking heads. So much better to have a great discussion and learn from one another and grow during this difficult time. But guys, we're going to get through it. We always do. We're humans. We fight. All right. I love you guys. Have a really good day.